Hello, this is going to be a Noob Saibot guide. It's going to be a bit of a long one, so timestamps in the description below. I'll also make a summary about this in like 5 minutes. That's also going to be in the description. Noob Saibot is a very interesting character because he can play pretty much two kinds of style. One where he's like right in your face, in terms of a Rushdown type of character, and that's actually how Sonic Fox says he should be played, as a Rushdown character, but also as a neutral type of character, meaning that instead of being right in their face, you want to be here. And that's how I tend to think that Noob Saibot plays the best, because he has tools to push you away. He can jail you off of his down 4 and stuff along those lines. He can push you away and then punish you with back 3. Anyways, in this video we're going to explore the normals, and then we'll take you through every single ability that he has, and we'll analyze them. So let's get going. So his fastest normal is the 113. This one here, 113. This is really good to hit confirm, because since there are 3 hits in there, you don't have to confirm off of the 1-1. You don't have to do this, right? And that's hard on reactions. Here you can just input it all, 113, and if you react and see that it actually touches, then you can hit confirm. So that's good, but his best punish, in my opinion, is actually his forward 2, like that. It's not as fast, right? It's not 7 frames, but against characters that have a tiny little bit of spacing, where let's say someone like, I don't know. So let's say we have the other Noob Saibot who does something like this, the back 1, right? But, so of course if he does it here and you're interrupting a stagger, let's say he's trying to do this. That's the stagger he's trying to do, but you know, so you make the read. Then he does this. You can touch him with 1-1, but you cannot touch him if he's just spaced out just a little bit more, like here. Oh my god, this has such terrible range. Here, right? Now you can't touch him. That's just an example I'm giving you. It's not specific about Noob, it's about like every other opponent that you would fight against. If they space you out a little bit with the 4-2, you can touch them. But you couldn't with your fast standing 1, right? So when you're in doubt and there's a little bit of spacing, that is when you want to use the 4-2 to punish. Not just as a punisher, right? It's 9 frames. So it being 9 frames might not punish things that are pretty tight, but you should still try to use it against, if you don't know the frames, for example, against things that spaces you out. Okay, now let's forget about punishing. Let's talk about 4-2 again. So this string, 4-2-2-1, you have that version, you have 4-4-2-1-2. The 4-2-2-1-2 does not come out on block. It only comes out on hit. It makes no sense to use, because 163 damage, right? Compared to, let's say, just a simple 100 or 225. Even if you don't amp it, 188. It doesn't make sense, so don't ever complete this. It makes no sense at all. It would make sense if it would come out on block, but it doesn't. Okay, so this whole string is safe. This one, the 4-2 is -1. I think it can be 0 from time to time. Is it variable frame rate? I thought I saw 0. Okay, I saw 0 earlier, but anyway, so it's -1. 4-2-2, -6. 4-2-2-1, -3. If you try to play neutral, this attack here is amazing. I recommend you don't stop here, right? Because this is like a full stop. Well, not a full stop. You can still special cancel off of it, but it's a bit of a YOLO depending on what tools you have. So for example, you could do this, but you have to keep yourself safe. But anyways, I recommend when you're trying to do some stagger text that you do 4-2-2, just like that. They have to react, right? So they have to react to the follow-up or not. And this is kind of one of them where the animation of this one here where he bends his back or his stomach forward. There's a tiny pause between this and this, right? So it looks a little bit similar. It's kind of hard to react to, but it's -6. Either way, if someone reacts well, you could backdash into back 3. Backdash back 3. This would clip them if they try to come in. See, they don't even move and I still clip them. So let's play that out. There you go. I'm like, oh, I react. I try to go in. Of course, if I do something else like that, that would work. But, okay, I react. I'm like, okay, my turn. No. Right? So that's an example here. Even the 4-2, just 4-2 itself, 4-2 backdash to back 3, that's another amazing stagger. So I react. In this case, right, when you react, you might do this, poke. That's the best way to interrupt staggers, usually by poking. But the problem is that when you try to interrupt staggers off of with an opponent that's a whiff punisher, that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to poke. So like the counter here would be to just react with 4-2. Even if they back away. Whoops. I would still get them, right? Maybe even, oh, not even down 4, and that's long range. So that's an option here. If your opponent is a bit slow to react and you don't feel like you need to back up, you could always do other types of techniques, right? Like forward 1 into down 4, for example. And the reason why this stagger is so good is because of frames. Usually frames that are -2 and less, like frames -2, -1, or 0, are absolutely amazing. They are incredibly difficult to react to because you know, as you, the person who's staggering, you know what you're going to do. They don't. They have to react to it. You don't react. The plan's in your head, and that's why you always have an advantage. So if you do 4-2, see, now the frame is 0. It depends. So it's either -1 or 0, which is amazing. Yeah, you see now 0. So you could do something like that and do down 4. By the time they react, they're going to get touched, and you can continue your pressure. Or even like this, if they're real slow. 4-2 and 2 back 1. 1+3. Let's do it again. Like that. Even though this one is -17, it takes reversal punishes to punish that. Some more movements to push people away. With the back 1, it's only -5. You could do this, something like that, or a poke. But this is kind of a reactable stagger, so you have to be careful. But from here, just when you have a tiny little bit of space, now you're really in range for interesting things. Not really in range, but you are in range, right? Can stagger back 1 into down 4. Gotta be careful, it looks like it can whiff. Or just, some people do back 1 to back 1 again, and that catches people, especially online. It's got me before. It's fine. Careful though. But like, even if you do this, say you push them away, you're so far away at the max where you can touch with the back 1 that if you do it again, the second back 1 doesn't touch. But that's completely fine because the follow-up is gonna touch, right? And the follow-up has nice range. It's just the first back 1 that doesn't have nice range. See? So that's always an option when you do footsie stuff like this, for example. Even if let's say you're close and you backdash, that's an option. Remember, your other noob, the ghost thing, doesn't have a hitbox, a hurt box. Meaning if you hit him, nothing's gonna happen. See? So back 1 into the backdash, back 1, 1+3 is always an option. If your opponent is slow to react, you don't even have to backdash. All his specials, all his normals are great. This character is really solid, pretty underrated, I think. This is all good, you can use all of them. Just like pretty much all his specials and his abilities have some sort of use. 2-1-2. It launches, it's a 3-hit normal, a 3-hit string, which means that it's hit confirmable. Meaning you have time to react. You can grab with the teleport. Not just that, but it's a shimmy. What is a shimmy? Shimmy means it looks a little bit like a grab under pressure. Like this, right? And since it looks like a grab, it's not an auto shimmy. I mean, it's not the exact same animation. But the arms are near the shoulders a little bit. Just like the grab. Which is why it confuses some people under pressure. Which is why after this, after the first hit, they release block and they get launched. And you have time to hit confirm. So for example, if I mimic it. So I do like, oh, I'm getting, see? I try to tech, because I think it's a grab. I get opened up. Especially if you are here and you advance. Try to mimic a advancing grab. I get opened up all the time by this. Or I used to. Now I've trained with a buddy and I don't get opened up. But that means that when he grabs me, it's like free grabs almost. Because I know this is a shimmy and it shimmies me all the time, so I'm careful not to tech. And then he gets free grabs. Anyways, there's a low too. This thing he does, he hits you on your feet. It's kind of silly that it's a low, but anyways, it's a low. Yeah, so that's how I would use it. Frames are great again. If you're here, get some distance. Not in range for the back 1, but in range for the back 3. Is it in range for the 4-2? Yep. Is it in range for the down 4? Yep. So some nice spacing stuff. You can always move back and down 3, back 3 if someone is trying to rush you in. Or you can just do back 1, 1+3, and the 1+3 is going to grab them. Now in terms of the pokes, with Noob you should always poke with down 4, in my opinion. It's fast. Well, I mean, it's okay. 9 frames for down 4, it's okay. It has nice range. Look at this range. It's actually also an anti-air. We'll show you in a second. But it pushes back on block and on hit also significantly, but on block too, right? So there are footsie options here. If your opponent is slow to react and you're close, right in their face, and you do down 4 on block, you might have time to backdash. Might not, probably not. Depends on the skill level of your opponent. If your opponent is semi-competent, you're not going to be able to backdash before he pokes you. But if you're here, Look at this spacing. They can't poke you again because of the little pushback that down 4 gives. What does that mean for you? It means this. They're gonna whip their pokes, and you're gonna poke them or slap their toes with a back 3, and I will prove you right now. So look what's gonna happen. Reversal on. Custom reversal. When I poke, this guy's gonna poke back, okay? Now if I'm here, and I try to backdash, like I said, I get countered. But if I'm here, they whip their down 4. And down 4 is a long range one, so do you imagine if they did down 1? Most people are gonna react with down 1 because it's faster. So if you're here, there you go. I didn't have to backdash. What if I backdash? A bit too far. You would backdash if instead of poking back after you do down 4, they rush you. So now we'll just show you this example here. There you go. Alright, that's full range, so you can't do it. Alright, this one works. So your whiff punish tool, the best tool that you have is a back 3. To whiff punish people and to bait people, that's up to you. The forward 2 into backdash, the back 1 into backdash, the back 4, the down 4 I mean, especially the down 4. On block or on hit, so for example, what happens if you do stuff on hit, right? Let's say I get him to crouch. He crouches, this jails. How do I know? Because he doesn't have time to crouch. If he doesn't have time to crouch, it's a jail. Okay, what happens? You'd have to take a small step forward. What's the hit advantage? Plus 18, that's why. I have even time to step forward and then do forward 2. So this means that if you touch them, you react, take a step forward, and then into the... But if they block, that is when you down 3. This is going to be hard to react to. The difference between a block and a non-block. If you're really trying to gel properly, because the gel is tight with the 4-3. 4-2, I mean. So it's possible that they'll duck. So for example, let's say, do this. I'm a bit late on my reaction, right? Or you could always do it back 3. Still always back 3. What if I'm here? That's gonna whiff. But if you're close, you can catch them. That's a gel with a low, which is really cool. So from time to time, you actually don't have to step forward if you mash the 4-2, which is weird. This game is weird sometimes. Come on, do it, bitch. See, now it worked. Anyways, if you really want to do this reliably, you have to step forward a little bit. Like that. Okay. Alright, so you either gel with a 4-2 after down 4, or on block, you have punished them with the back 3. Here we go, that's a tech. And that's blockable, so make sure that you do... Oops. The slide. Alright, so what happens if, when you poke them, they've stopped poking back, and instead what they do, they rush you. Let's say that the other Noob Saibot, he knows that what I'm trying to do is just get him to poke back, and then I punish him with back 3. So let's say he's gonna rush me. Alright, so what he does now, his game plan is this. Like I showed you, okay, so what if I do... Right, what if he does that now? He steps forward and 1-1-3, or he just 4-2-2. Well, that's when the mind games comes in. What is the mind game now? Now he has to backdash. He can still do his whiff punish things, but let's say he does that, and I poke. No, it doesn't work. This only works when I step forward, because I don't want to get whiff punish anymore, and try to hit him. So now the mind game is he gonna backdash or not? If he backdashes, I'm safe. There you go, I'm fine, right? That's not what he wants. When I poke back, what he wants is just to stay in place and do back 3. But let's say that I start stepping forward, that is when he wants to step back. So you have to adjust when you do some footsie stuff. Alright, anti-airs. Noob has amazing anti-airs. Look at this anti-air, it's absolutely amazing. It actually might be a counter to Devora. I've never figured out how to beat Devora's jump 1. But this thing, oh my, it has to be the best anti-air in the game. The best anti-air special in the game. Yeah, that hitbox is insane. Okay, I think you get it. Yeah, okay. So amazing anti-air. The 4-3 is actually a good anti-air too. Okay, so he hits me as soon as he can. What's gonna win? Right, he hits me right on the face, so looks like my foot wins against his foot. So it's interesting, it looks like from an error to air perspective, not an error to error, from a jump in to being grounded, I guess, my foot doesn't seem to have a hurt box compared to his. Or maybe my hitbox is just superior. But anyways. So it's gonna be hard to react to this, but oh my god, look at how high he flies. Yeah, you can actually combo off of this anti-air. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, I'm able to catch him and fatal blow him from an anti-air special. So his anti-airs are really strong, but this is more of a read type of... Yeah, a read type of thing. If you're just reacting, down 4 is perfectly fine. You lower your hitbox, your hurtbox, I mean. So let's say that he sees that I'm crouching, okay? Right, so he hits me like that. Look at this thing here. Isn't it nice? Can you combo off that? Yeah. And there's not like... This might seem like a YOLO. This is not a hit confirmable thing. You just input it all, but it's fine because if you don't touch with a down 4, nothing comes out, right? So it only comes out on hit. So that's something you can do. And that's the same thing with the 4-3. The 4-3 down back 4, right? Because if I don't touch... So let's say I don't touch, right? Okay, stop jumping, bitch. So let's say I don't touch. I'm still inputting it all. Nothing comes out. Because it only comes out after I hit. So this means that you can always input it all. It's an OS. An anti-air OS. Look at this here. God, this is beautiful. Okay, you have to be careful though, huh? This one was going to take practice. It's going to take a lot of practice to get that one. Okay, here we go. This is probably something I would not recommend to teleport unless you're a noob main. Because this is hard, and if you fuck it up and you whiff, if you're late, you're going to get punished. So... maybe do something. How about like... Okay, I'm gonna do 4-3 into teleport. See if it works. Come on. Oh. You can't special... Oh, you can. Okay. So that's another OS. It's much more... Is it more... Yeah, much more damaging. So special cancel. It's actually hard to input it. Okay. Plus, if you have the right ability, you can combo into that, so... Anti-airs are nice. Okay, so that's his anti-airs. 3 versions. Ah, God. Okay, anyways, you get it. Like I mentioned at the start, there are different ways to play him. You can even play him as a zoner. I have a friend who does play him as a footsie and zoner type style. And that actually works really well, but in terms of rushdown, like Sonic says, the only way that I can really see this guy being a rushdown character is by using 4-2. Often. 4-2-2-1, 4-2, and then 4-2-2, you know, things along those lines. The problem is that he's pretty much all highs. Unless you start doing things that are long range, right? Like I showed you. So the way that you have to reinforce this is by pokes. Not... Well, you can do down 4, right? Like I showed you, it gels into the 4-2-2. But the problem is that if you want to do something else than 4-2-2, if you want to start trying to do 1-1-3, because that's a really good combo. It's a lot of damage too. Noob Saibot hits like a truck. He's out of range, right? So you have to do something else. Like down 3, what is it? 9 frames? Nah. Down 1. Something like that. And it gels again because, look, otherwise the other noob would have time to crouch again. What? What the fuck? Oh my god. Look at this problem that I just discovered. You can't gel off of the down 3. Okay, you have to gel off the down 1 then. Jesus Christ. That's a problem. But okay, so yeah, then it would be like the pokes into 4-4-4 or the pokes into 1-1. That's pretty much his game plan, if you're going to go for a rushdown type of character. The 4-2-2 is obviously preferred because, you know, this is amazing. But that's my thing. I prefer footsie type stuff. Now we're going to start talking about his specials. I have a couple one here, special abilities, and then we'll talk about all his normal stuff. We talked about the Rising Shadow Kick, how it's an anti-air. Now let's talk about Spirit Ball, Sickle, Snag, and Shadow Slide. First of all, Shadow Slide is probably one of his best tools. Whenever I play against someone who has Shadow Slide, I'm like, oh no, because I can't do my footsie stuff, right? Because this controls all that. And it's fast, 18 frames. What's the recovery? 24 on whiff. Okay. It's pretty fast. It's like half a second, but look at this range. This means that you can't backdash and stuff. You know, with Sechion, you do something like 1-1, backdash, and then 4-2. When you try to backdash or keep space and this guy just keep throwing this at you, you're like, alright, you have to come at him and face him and rush him down. But then he's like, alright, thank you, you want to advance? Then he does stuff like this, backdash into back 3, right? So this is, I think, a way that this complements his style of footsies by the Shadow Slide, forcing people to always having to come at you, and you are able to to back away and then use your tools to whiff punish and stuff to keep spacing, push them away, space them out, and as soon as they start backing away and try to mess with you, you throw them right at them. So that's a good way. Also, there's a 50-50 here, which, you know, you don't have to play 50-50 in this game. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. So off of that string, instead of doing 1-1-3 and completing it normally, you do 1-1 slide. That's a little, or 1-1 overhead. So that's a 50-50. I think that's it for Noob Saibot in terms of 50-50 with Shadow Slide. You can always... So when we do this here, it's -8. So this is going to be pretty difficult to mash at the end when your turn is over. But not impossible if from time to time you throw this out there. This is punishable, be careful. Someone's probably even going to have time to take a step forward and then punish me because I'm -20. Actually, that's really highly likely. But the thing is, since there's the threat of amplification, you're going to get away with this often. It just spaces you out enough a little bit, and this then there's a potential amplification, and there's a pause. You see the pause? Small pause, and then you can do it. So this thing here. So let's say you do this. You've conditioned your opponent to respect the overhead, the amplification, right? Because he's been doing this the whole time. And then from time to time, you know what? You do this. And then he's not even going to be able to react, because by the time he reacts, you're fine. You can block. Yeah, it's going to be 2- to abuse a poke after this. You're going to have to block. But when you're used to always annoying people with an ender, with a slide as an ender, you can stop doing it and then just steal your turn back. Because he has to like anticipate the slide, react to it, and by the time he's like, oh, nothing's coming, you poke him. And you're like, okay, now I can jail you again. So that's a way that you can use a Shadow Slide. And that can be on all sorts of strings, right? So from time to time you do back 3 into slide. You don't even have to amp it because it's too far. And then, you know, when he's used to that, eventually you amplify it in his face. So that's a good way to do that. Things along those lines. Same things with this one here. From time to time you end normally, and then you poke. This is only -3. This is abusable into a poke. But it's only abusable if from time to time you special cancel it, because they have to anticipate a follow-up. If they anticipate a follow-up and you poke, it's going to be extremely difficult to react to both options. To this or to this. It's going to be very difficult. Especially if you start amplifying it then. It's going to be really hard for them. Alright, so anyways, that's the Shadow Slide. Use it to stop footsie type characters. Use it to control the neutral. A little bit more than the neutral. Almost the entire screen. And you use it after your strings, so that eventually you can start abusing your pokes and stealing turns left and right. So that's how I would use this attack. Sickle, Snag, this is just a combo extender, but it complements the back 2 well, which is an armor breaker, and I'll show you in a second. Right now, let me show you some combos. So this thing here, you can actually use it with the teleport, which also launches. You can use both, and that creates some really highly damaging stuff. But yeah, Sickle, Snag, obviously you can't launch unless they're airborne, but that means when you use the 4-2, you can catch them, right? It's highly damaging. I like it. I'm gonna get the other Noob Saibot to break, and I'm gonna break armor with the back 2, okay? Okay, let me tell you here. You have to be careful with your timing on this, okay? Because if the opponent breaks fast, and you do it as fast as possible, you whiff. Did you just see that? So let me remove the AI thing. I do it as fast as I can, and I mess it up. However, even if you let them break as fast as you can, and you wait a little bit, you delay your stuff a little tiny bit, you can still catch them and break armor. Now he's gonna delay the breakaway. I can still catch him, so just wait for him, and now it's gonna be late. Okay, so this means that when you always break armor, you always want to wait for the opponent to be like near your chest area, no matter what. So let's just make him break fast here. I wait, I'm patient, and then I catch him. Okay. With the Sickle, Snag, you can combo off of the back 2, but only on breakaways. You can't just do it normally. Isn't that interesting? So let's do it again. Look at this damage for breaking away. Well, I mean, there's also a crushing blow in there, but... So use the Sickle, Snag to complement the armor breaker. You can special cancel it into other things as well, of course. But the Sickle Snag extends combos, which is real nice. See, I was able to catch him as well. So the armor breaker that Noob Saibot has is amazing. Alright, so now the Spirit Ball. Spirit Ball. That's the fast projectile. He has another one which is slow, but it's unblockable. And it takes a bar of D and offensive meter. But that's in another one. So right now, Spirit Ball. That's, like, it's a nice projectile to trade and stuff if you're trying to zone. But, I mean, it doesn't have a mid. So it's gonna be pretty easy to just dodge. It's not the best, but it's something out there to have. It's better to have it than not have it, especially if someone is zoning you and you're trying to trade projectiles. This comes in handy. But the best way to use this, I think, is just with special cancels. See, this is -10, but the range is yeah, with the range and the frames, this is not reversal punishable. So nothing can punish this. Probably nothing. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I would assume that it's like right in the sweet spot of being far enough and not too minus to not get punished. But of course, if you're right in their face, this is punishable, right? So, but I'm talking about footseeing right here. It's probably a better alternative. Let's see if it combos. Whoops. It combos, interesting. Compared to this, which does not combo. But as we know, the back 3 into slide also combos. You can amp it too for more damage. Which, by the way, I always recommend you amp it, because look at this damage. 135 compared to 100 or 207. And I think when you get like 50 damage or more with amplification, it's worth amplifying it. So amplify the slide. Some people just amplify the slide to keep it safe, and they don't use it on hit. But that's how I've used to play him with slide, but now I always amp it. I try to always amp it to get that sweet damage. But yeah, Spirit Ball, use it in with your back 3. I think that's pretty much how I would use it in combos. There's no real other good way to use it. You could do it off the back 1, but this is a little bit dangerous. Like, if you're not in the right spot, like this is punishable right here. If you're like at the sweet spot, you could, but finding the sweet spot with back 1 is difficult. So I would just do this with the back 1. Unless you have a reversal punisher, like a Jade or something. This is reversal punishable with Jade, for example. So you would do this. Now it's safe, right? It's safe from a reversal punish, but maybe a back 3, for example, would touch. I don't know. I would have to lab it. Not from here, though. If someone takes his turn back aggressively, and not with pokes, with highs, this is something you can throw out there. Just keep in mind this is duckable. I don't think it gels. It doesn't gel. It's duckable, so be really careful when you use this at the end of a combo and block. Or this might happen. So be careful. Okay, folks, that's it for Spirit Ball, Sickle Snag, and Shadow Slide. This is a great build, but I think there are better builds than that. Okay, let's look. Shadow Tackle. We saw Rising Shadow Kick, teleslam. You all know about this. Actually, we'll cover it, so. Okay, Shadow Tackle. And this is just a normal projectile. You can use it off of a footsie type stuff like this. Let's go for auto blocks. Yeah, this is touches, but at the full pin, it doesn't touch. At the full pin. Full distance, it's blockable, but so that's why this is not the best. The way you use Shadow Tackle, you should always amp it. Why? Because when you amp it on block, nothing comes out. Look, I'm amping it right now. Look at my inputs on the left. Nothing comes out. Okay, but I'm gonna do it on hit now. Amp it on hit, and it does that sweet damage. There's a crushing blow, but the crushing blow is so goddamn hard to get, so let's see it. As I say this, I'm sad because I've been caught by that crushing blow often. Triggers if you have connected at least 10 shadow special moves. Okay, I don't think it means that it has to be amplified, but if you touch 10 times like this, eventually, when you amp it, it will crushing blow, and the damage is sweet. Real sweet. 300 compared to 99. Very nice. Okay, so that's Shadow Tackle for you. Teleslam. This is the Noob move. No pun intended. The regular one, you can't combo into it, and you can't do it in the air. But it's still good. It's kind of dangerous against projectile. It's because it's slow, but from time to time you can catch someone off guard. The way you punish this, though, you have to be really careful. I've been caught several times punishing this badly. So the other noob's gonna do this. It's a high, right? The problem is if you do your down too fast, look what happens. Whoops, now I did it fast enough, but you have to wait and then clip. Or wait, and then combo. So don't do it too fast, because this... Oh, now it worked, okay? Now it's working again. Now it doesn't work, now it whiffs. So careful, careful, careful with the punishment. Alright folks, Ghost Ball, Sickle Toss, and Teleslam. Ghost Ball. So this is extremely difficult to get because it's 42 frames. But look at the bar of the other opponent when this happens. I'm just taking off 2 bars. What if you do it twice in a row? Does it even... No, it doesn't work when you do it twice in a row. Does it have any other properties? No. But it's unblockable. It's a high and it's low. So just duck this. Duck this. So for example, that's a counter. You should never be getting caught by this when you're semi-good. Don't ever get caught by this. Please. So it's almost useless in my opinion. It's good against noobs because they're gonna get caught by this. It's not good if you play against someone that's semi-competent. Alright, you get it. Sickle Toss. This one, for people who don't know, this catches a lot of people. Why? It's an overhead. And people block low, right? It's an overhead, and when you amp it, it's a mid. The amplification is a mid, and you can combo off of it. So let me show you. So let's say... So it's a special that you can special cancel. Interesting, huh? So see, you can special cancel the special cancel. Actually, it might actually not be a special cancel of the special cancel. It might just be... It has so much like head advantage, or yeah, that you can catch them. It's hard though. You're gonna have to practice this. All right, it's hard. It's really goddamn hard. Not gonna lie. Okay, you can do it in other. You can do it in other distances. It doesn't just have to be full screen. And by the way, there's close, far, and very far, right? So you have to manually control where you want to send it. It doesn't track. I think the trick to get a teleport, teleslam, off of an amplified Sickle Toss is to input the teleslam to buffer it when you just finish the amplification. Okay, so I know what it is. It's not really a buffer. I shouldn't say it like that, but... So it's when, so look at my Noob Saibot, you see how his arm goes across and backwards? So when his arm goes backwards is when you special cancel it. Arm is back, special cancel, no, too late. Okay, it's hard, you'll have to practice this. You can actually fatal blow off of that. That one is easy, you just let it rip. So let's see the damage. Almost 400, nice. It actually breaks armor too because obviously Fatal Blow is an armor breaker. So let's say they break away. Let's try it like fast. Oh. Interesting. You don't have to get popped in the air. You can break immediately. So that's how you escape a Fatal Blow. Because my friend does this to me and I usually wait until I'm here to break like an idiot. Okay. Okay, armor broken. It's not easy for him either, for Noob. But it's not incredibly hard. Alright, so that's that. Now let's look at teleslam. That's just a launcher too, right? That's another great launcher. I love this move. Just keep in mind with the teleslam amp, it doesn't work off of the 4221. That's where you need Sickle Toss, Sickle Slam. Not Sickle Toss, Sickle Slam, the one I showed earlier, right? It doesn't work. You would have to do something like this. Doesn't even oh, it doesn't combo. Oh. That combos. So, the back one, 3, 1 plus 3, you can always just enter it all and put all the things, right? So, back 1, 1 plus 3, 2. My 2 didn't come out on block. So, you can always just input it like that, buffer it. But just keep in mind, you can actually special cancel into this attack. So it's probably not worth always just hitting unless it's gonna be a crushing blow, right? On counter. So this one works. Okay, so I don't recommend doing this, but back 3 into teleport actually combos as well. The reason why I don't recommend it is because back 3 is not hit confirmable. You can't react to seeing this touch or not, and then do a special safely. It has to be like at least 2, at least 1, 2 like that. The best is obviously 1, 2, 3. I mean, like I'm counting the number of hits, not the actual inputs. To hit confirm, I mean. But alright, so teleslam with the ability it costs 1 bar, 1 slot, I mean, to add, but then you get some nice, sweet combos that you would not get with the Sickle Slam. This doesn't combo with Sickle Slam. And obviously if I do this doesn't work, right? And this doesn't work either. So when you have Sickle Snag, which can grab off of the forward 2 like this, and then you have your teleslam amp, which also launches from things which the Sickle Snag can't, like this, for example, and this, right? Now you're in business. And I made a best variation video for Noob Saibot. I think that's the 2 moves that I put together. The damage is absolutely insane. So those are the moves that you want to put together if you want a highly damaging noob. And then you can probably have like a slide or something else that you enjoy. But alright, so that's it, folks. I'm gonna look at more noobs. Hang in there. Air teleslam. This means that you can grab him from the air. When you combine that with a teleslam combo, that can be extremely strong, because if I underestimate you and you're jumping and shit, and you get caught, now it's combo city. When you teleslam the 113, it's a little bit difficult. That's why some people do. Yeah, it's a bit easier, but you should ideally practice 113 after the teleslam. If I can goddamn get it. Oh my fuck. There you go. But yeah, this whip is so goddamn fast, you know. It's kind of hard to see. If you're moving around, you would ideally want to, you know, just jump around like this, and then you see your opponent just stepping forward, moving around, and that's when you snatch him out of the ground, I guess we can say. Just keep in mind that it's still, you know, extremely punishable. So anyway, so that's the air slam. Okay, Shadow Strike. I think Shadow Strike is such an underrated attack because it doesn't have a lot of range. You might be thinking, well, why would I have Shadow Strike when I can have Shadow Slide? Shadow Slide has way more distance. Well, I'll tell you why. Like this one, you can't even amp it, okay? It's -6. That's why you should have this. What's the max distance? It's not bad. It actually is better than it looks. And the way you use this, of course you can use it in mix-up, right? As you know, you have 112, which is an overhead, or 1-1 special, which is the low. Okay, so that's both safe overheads. I think there might be a flawless. Is there a flawless block gap here? Yeah, there's. Okay, anyways. So it's safe other than the flawless on the overhead here. The thing is, you remember what I was telling you? You want to mix your normal 1-1-3 and stuff, your normal combos like 2-2-1 with this from time to time with a special cancel so that you can abuse your frames. This is -3. It's prime for abuse. When you make them guess as to when you're gonna special cancel or not, you can't abuse a down 1 in there and steal your turn, right? And now you don't even have to amp it because it's completely safe. So there's no fear at all. Of course, after this, you'll have to block, but then you could probably steal your turn again when you don't throw it out there. So that's how I think it's good. And the air sickle port, that's just a teleport. You can throw a mid out there if you amp it, which is why it's actually pretty strong, because when someone teleports like this, or sickle ports, I guess we can call it, you're always going to want to block as the opponent, because you never know when this is coming. And this means that it's almost like a free teleport, because usually when you teleport, you lose your turn because of the recovery, right? So I have 24 frames of recovery. This means that he can hit me 24 frames before I can hit him. So this is not advantageous at all. But if he has to react to this, so he just stays patient, then we're like neutral. Then it's both our times to hit. So that's how this can be strong. Pretty much all his moves are strong, Noob Saibot. It launches. Unbelievable. Can we get a fatal blow in? Oop. Okay, what if he breaks? No. What if we delay it? No. And what if it's late? No. So if he breaks, no fatal. If he doesn't break, no fatal. So you can't fatal off of that. What if we do something like... Okay, if you combo into it, you can fatal. Yeah, if you combo into it, you can fatal. But yeah, so this is a launcher, and it's safe, -9. I'm pretty almost safe, right? Not completely safe, but it's a launcher. You can combo off of it, which is amazing. So this is a pretty good attack. Air Shadow Drive, this one here. This is just an annoying air attack. And if you're closer, it's more minus. If you're closer, it's more minus. So if you do it from here, you're gonna get punished. From here, -14 from this distance. It's probably gonna be... Cassie's gonna be able to punish this. Maybe not. You see, I know I'm -13. That's the exact startup frame of Cassie. Maybe sub. Anyways, this is gonna be hard to punish from its full reach. From here, reversal is going to punish this. But this is just like an annoyance. Right? You probably don't want to do this from up close because it's 2-. So don't do it after like a kick or something like that. But it's just something you want to do from here to annoy. Just like Jade's air Razorang. So anyways, that's it, boys. That's it for Noob Saibot. Good character, different styles, zoning, footsies, rushdown if you are courageous. His weakness is that he has highs everywhere. His only good mid is this. Well, good. His only mid is this. His range is not good. So it's either you have to be real close or just a tiny little bit spaced out. He has a low as well, but it's like for long range stuff. So it's very difficult to be in someone's face. When you're in someone's face, you want to do down 4 often, really often, to keep pushing them away. Or just to jail them to the fort too. So that's how I would play Rushdown if you're wanting to play Rushdown with Noob. Reinforce everything with down 4. Anyways, guys, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one.